Welcome to Zatu Games. What's this? Skulk Hollow? Let's review it. Let's talk Skulk Hollow with an overview of how to play. I'm going to lay the meeples on their side so you can see them in their full glory. But basically, one player will take a team of foxes. Here's all the foxes. They come with various classes, fighters, rogues and archers. They all have some unique powers. And one person will play the guardians. The guardians will also have their own separate board that during the game, as the foxes enter the space with the guardian, they will leap up onto the guardian, onto these spaces and attack directly the different parts of the guardian. But these also represent moves. So if the foxes have taken out the claw on both sides, then the guardian wouldn't be able to play claw powers anymore, for example. So that's how that works, and that just sits alongside the board. This guardian also has a cloud to show when they are flying. The foxes and each guardian comes with their own deck box in this fantastic insert which houses all the deck boxes. This is just a extra mini expansion here, has room for everything. Brilliant job there. So let's take a look at the foxes first. The foxes have heroes who will be your leader. So you choose one of these guys and they will be your leader. They have a special power and they can store cubes on them, given that they've played the right card. And these cubes can be used during your go to take any action that is legal for your character. So if you were the princess here, you might use them to use your special power. You might want to say, I need to move and get out of here, or I need to attack the guardian one more time. So I'm going to spend those to do that. Guardians rather come with a big old... the foxes have one as well, actually, but they're storing their power on these places. So Raptor here has 2 spots to store power cubes, tells you all the moves you'll find in their deck, their hand limit, and how many actions they take. So the foxes generally get more actions, but then there are more of them, and they are weak, pathetic things. They're not, but... in my head, the foxes are technologically advanced and causing a lot of pollution over the lovely land, even though, you know, this is the Guardian's area and it looks like everything's dying. I'm Team Guardian. So then you have the normal fox cards, and these will come in a number of ways, the varieties. Ones that let you do stuff, so this one will let you maneuver, gain power, and then new units. So when you put a new unit out, you put them onto, so this guy, you'd find his symbol, he has 2 health, and when he enters the Guardian space, this type of hero may jump straight up on to the Guardian, so they're quite useful, and they start on the board, and that's that. The Guardian is very similar. They have they don't have any extra units to put on, but they have these cards to give them choices of what they want to do. Mend is the most useful guardian. It's often the most raw, I was going to say. So you'll play out until the guardian achieves their own personal objective, which is listed on the board there. Eliminate all non-leader hero units from ground spaces on the map, or they kill the king or queen. The foxes, on the other hand, are just trying to take out all the spaces on the Guardian. And that's a really brief overview of how to play Skulk Hollow. Skulk Hollow may be one of the best games that isn't talked about enough that I've played. Now, I know there's a lot of games out there and a lot of games going to get talked about, but this, in my mind, is Pencil First's best game they've put out. Everything from the theme to the gameplay is fantastic. It's the asymmetricness of the game comes through in how the different sides play. To operate them, you're broadly doing the same thing, playing cards and retrieving them and perhaps saving up some power cubes. But the Guardians have very different powers available to them than the horrible little foxes that are wrecking the land. And yeah, it just makes for such an intriguing gameplay, having that sideboard of this Guardian that you climb up like the PlayStation games Shadow of the Colossus and the one before it. Is just really, really cool, and each Guardian having a different way to deal with that. Some of the Guardians will keep the foxes on them and deal them damage while they're aboard, so that's a really good strategy. Some will have ways of shaking them off. But for the foxes, you can start saying, right, I don't like that move that they keep doing, I'll damage that part of their body so they can't perform that move anymore. The addition of having the power cubes, if you do have them, is great because it gives you the ability to go against the luck of the draw. If you're desperate for a power and it's not coming up, you can use one of these power cubes to do any of your legal actions. The board is just the right size to create these tense games that often finish really, really close, even when you're playing new players. There is so much variety baked into the game, from the different Guardians to the different leaders with the foxes to the different ways you'll use the foxes and their powers. There's actually a lot going on, but it's delivered in a simple way that makes sense, and it's referenced in all the right places. Added to this, a fantastic presentation in terms of components and the insert, where each character gets their own deck box. You just give it to them. The Kickstarter expansion that I got with my copy does give you more ways of using any powers. You put out some, I think they're called relics in this game. I get confused on all the terms sometimes. But the relics give you act as extra power cubes, essentially, letting you do another action. The hugely powerful Guardians often have less actions than the foxes, and the foxes are generally more mobile than the Guardians, being able to move into their spaces and jump up onto the Guardians all in one move in the case of the Knights, or being able to jump onto any part of the Guardian in the case of, I believe, the Rogues. It might be the Archers, but I think it's the Rogues. Let's say Rogues. Yeah, I absolutely love this game. I'm looking at changing the way I do my ratings. I've never done numbers, but I've talked about fun, intimidation, all that. I want to talk about replayability more, because as I look at my huge game collection and realise that I play far too many new games and not enough games that are repeat play, I want to look at repeat play and therefore value for money. So I want to look at that in kind of short term, medium term and long term. For what's it called? Skulk Hollow. I was thinking Shadows of the Colossus again. For Skulk Hollow, the short-term replayability is excellent, with the 4 included Guardians, the 4 Fox leaders, the fact that you will play it, you will swap over, and that everyone you play will employ different tactics. The range of actions available is brilliant as well. Medium term, I think that continues on. You're getting a good deal for a good price in this package, and for the short to medium term, that's going to play out. Long-term replayability is going to suffer a little bit in the kind of fatigue of, although the different sides are asymmetric, the mechanics are identical. You are playing a card to take actions. You're working through your deck to play actions. You're trying to speed through to get the cards that you want. You're gaining power cubes. Yes, those actions can be different, but the mechanics are the same. So you may get a little bit fatigued at just the card playing there, but that is the only thing I can say on replayability. I am absolutely sure they will bring out some more deck boxes, including new heroes, new Guardians, and expand this game. But even if they don't, it's one that I will come back to time and time again. I like card play. I like the challenge of going up against someone who's played this a few times, got to grips with some of the subtleties of tactics, and we will play a match where one of us is the Guardian and the other is Foxes, and then we'll immediately reverse that to see if it's a fair match when we change roles. So I think the long term is there, but you've just got to be aware that the asymmetric nature of the game is not mechanical, it's in how that plays out. So there you go. The rulebook is brilliant. The rulebook gave me no questions. The fun is there. Intimidation factor, I think for a brand new player or a player who's only been playing for a short amount of time, there may be some comprehension issues to do with the jargon and the way board games work. But once you've been in board games 6 months or so, you will probably not have a problem with any of it. That's my thoughts on Skulk Hollow. I really rate this one. If I had a seal of excellence, a board, deck and spice, this would definitely receive it. So make that sticker, go into your local friendly game store and stick that sticker on it and say, this is an excellent game, you should buy it. Thanks very much for watching. Do check out our Twitch channel. We're starting to put more content on Twitch, including video games. So you can find us on Twitch at Board, Deck and Dice. And we will be doing some interactive stuff with Among Us and potentially Jackbox and things like that. See you next time.